Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Roots of Life podcast. It is a beautiful day here in sunny Vancouver, British Columbia, which is a rare one. There's lots of snow on the ground. It's really beautiful outside. We're hoping to get snow for the next 5 days. So we're excited to be here. Jimmy, I'm sure everybody's excited to be listening. I'm excited you're here with me today. It's going to be a great day. We're going to have some adventures. We're going to get into that a little bit in a moment or two. But Jimmy, before we get started, if anybody was listening and anybody wanted to reach out to us or ask us any questions, where might they do that?
We have a few places. You could email us at rootsoflifepodcast@gmail.com. Send us questions, comments, anything like that. We have Twitter. It's at rootsoflifepod. You could also find us on YouTube, although we haven't posted anything yet. We're not quite sure what we'll do for that.
We're working on it.
Next project. And we also have a Patreon page. You can find us at patreon.com/rootsoflife.
So yeah, there's a few things. If you've been listening to the last few episodes and you want to reach out, we're happy to communicate with you. We look forward to it. So don't hesitate. Let's get into it, Jimmy. What am I holding in my hand? What is it that we're drinking?
It looks like tea, and I believe it tastes a little lemony and a little bit bitter due to some mushrooms.
Some magic mushrooms. We didn't just decide to take some shiitake mushrooms and throw them in tea and boil them down, because there would really be no benefit to that. Yeah, it wouldn't really be that good, I don't think. So we decided that we needed something to do today. If you are a Patreon supporter, you may have heard the previous episode that we recorded. We're calling the first official drunk cast. So me and Jimmy, we recorded over the internet most days, but he decided to come down to Vancouver for a couple days and visit. We decided to spend some time together because
make the most of it.
Yeah.
Do some fun things.
Yeah.
And record it.
We value the time. Yeah. So it's great. With that being said, if you're not a Patreon supporter and you didn't listen to the other podcasts, get on to patreon.com/rootsoflife and support us, and you will be able to listen to that. So we're here. We're in the studio together. We decided that we wanted to do some recording, and we decided we wanted to document this next part of our adventure for all you wonderful people out there. So we thank you for listening, tuning in with us. It's going to be a good day. I'm excited, Jimmy. It's really nice out. It's 2 p.m, and we haven't been outside yet.
I was checking my tire pressure for my car.
Oh.
But that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how is the tire pressure on your car doing?
Awful, but I'll
Really?
fix that later. Yeah.
Oh, we can... Well, maybe not today.
Not today.
We can do
No,
it tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Do it before you drive home.
yeah.
Yeah, because that'll be important, I think, especially for the traction on if you hit any ice patches or if there's any snow on the highway. You want to make sure that your tire pressure is probably optimal for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we're going to get outside. We're going to do some recording here. We're going to drink this tea. And I think I kind of want to we made a ceremony out of the tea. And I think this as well falls into that same category. We're going to use this as a segue into our afternoon.
Doing some checking in later on.
Yeah, right after
recordings.
this, I kind of want to get outside right away and kind of let that be the beginning of our spiritual journey today. So that'll be fun. We do have something else planned for later on to the evening. We're going to, if you're not familiar with it, it's called Enchanted. It's here in Vancouver. I believe this is the first year they've done it here. So
I'm not sure.
They travel around, I'm pretty sure. They go to different cities and put this up. I don't know if they do multiple ones in different cities each year, if they just do one city each year. I'm not sure how it works exactly, but basically down in Olympic Village in the heart of Vancouver, there's a big Christmas light maze. I think they have something, they said over 55,000 Christmas lights.
Yeah.
They've got big tunnels and things dangling from roofs. So we're going to go there later on and enjoy some visual stimulation as part of our experience today.
Exactly. We'll be checking in now and again, and maybe do another full podcast later on today.
Yeah, so we're doing this one pretty clear-minded. A little tired from yesterday, but that's okay. Still enjoying it very much. And then later on, and as another bonus episode for the Roots of Life podcast, where if you are a Patreon supporter, you can listen to that. So get on that.
We
Go
may
check
be
out the
joined
page.
by the roommate.
Yes, the roommate. He is probably going to come in and, as quote unquote, he said, poke the bear. So he may ask us some questions as we dive into our other state of consciousness. So it's going to be exciting to see how things open up and ask some things and see how the conversation goes, really. I don't think we're going to be able to set much intention for the podcast itself, but I think we have intentions for the afternoon.
The intention really of the podcast is sort of to explore what we had talked about in our first podcast, I think. Like the feeling of the psychedelics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we can have it physically recorded while we're experiencing it.
Which is really cool. I think I didn't anticipate when we did the first podcast that even just getting this far was going to be a thing, and it feels really good to do that. And now to be able to really just actually do it, not just the podcast, but also where the heart of the podcast started. It started exploring psychedelics and different states of consciousness, and now we're doing that live on the air for all the listeners. So if they've listened to one or all of them, that's awesome, and they're gonna get that experience firsthand from us. If you don't have those experiences yourself, maybe think about it. I'm not suggesting that you go do drugs in unsafe environments, but something to consider. Do some research. Maybe it's for you.
Why not, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Nobody's ever died from it. Well, not from the chemical substance itself. There are mushrooms out there that will kill you. That's for sure. Not the right ones. Don't just go pick mushrooms. Do your research. There's lots of people out there who have an expansive knowledge, an expert level of knowledge as to what mushrooms you can and cannot eat.
Yeah.
Or the ones that contain psilocybin anyways.
There's actually quite a few.
Yeah, I know John was studying it for quite a long time.
Yeah.
And he was going to conferences out at UBC with different, I don't know, are they biologists?
I guess so.
I would think so.
Probably.
I don't know if they have doctors or whatever, who study mushrooms and fungi and everything like that. So he got quite into that for a while. And he did go pick his own magic mushrooms for a while. Nice. I know he did do that. Like, it was something he was taking very serious, and it was part of his ceremony was to earn the right into that state by going and doing the research himself, finding out what was there and how he could find it, and going and getting it. So I think that's really cool. We talked a little bit last night about earning your food.
Yeah.
And how things will taste different. It will feel different. You're not just nourishing your body, but you're nourishing your soul when you do that. And I think going and doing the research that goes into psilocybin and the different type of mushrooms you can eat, I think there's a certain level that goes into that as well. It's a different kind of satisfaction when you earn it.
Exactly.
And so
feels better.
Yeah, absolutely. So
more fulfilling.
Yeah, we didn't do that today. We don't have the knowledge to do that. I don't think we've taken the time to research that stuff, which is okay. So we did our own little ceremony today, which, if you're listening, that might sound really weird and like hokey, but I mean, all we really did was make some tea. Yeah. We just didn't want to stuff it down our throat and in hopes of getting high. We just wanted to kind of make an experience out of it. And so we just did that. We looked up a recipe. We talked about it a little bit. Cool, let's make some. We got some lemon juice and some limes, and we were going to go get honey, but we didn't.
I added some sugar, I guess.
Did you add the sugar?
It was that organic palm coconut sugar.
Yeah, my mom bought that for me a long time ago. It's a massive bag.
Yeah.
I don't know how she ever intends on me getting through that, but I think I've used that almost exclusively for teas. Yeah, so it doesn't get used a ton. Like, a lot of the times I drink my tea black.
Yeah.
So again, it just doesn't really get used. And there's a huge bag of it. I think it's been there for.
I used like 1 teaspoon in the tea we did. So
And that was like 4 cups probably.
yeah,
Yeah, it was
that.
quite a bit. So I mean, not a ton.
yeah,
All I taste is the citrus, really.
yeah. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, it's not the greatest, but it's not the worst either.
Oh, you haven't even gotten to the bottom yet.
Oh, really? Yeah, are you done yours?
I finished it,
You
yeah.
are done yours.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm taking my sweet tea. I'm probably talking a lot, is what it is.
Yeah, I was a little bit ahead of you because you had those floaty bits in the top. So
Yeah, those weren't really enjoyable. I wish I would have just grinded it up a lot finer.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would have made it a lot easier. And I think the bottom wouldn't be so bad either. It would be more consistent.
it's a bit rough.
At the bottom?
Yeah, I went with a big gulp for the last bit, like everything I could.
Oh, I can see it.
Yeah,
Oh, that does not look enjoyable. It looks scary, to be honest.
it was a little bit scary.
It's like staring me in the eye to like the depths of
in
my
your mouth
soul.
for a little bit too.
Oh,
That's why I couldn't talk for a little bit there.
You kind of-
trying to get rid of it.
okay. Well, let's switch roles here, Jimmy. Talk to the fans one more time.
I kind of want you to like drink it and kind of express how it feels like with this.
Oh, okay.
Kind of this
Well,
part of the experience.
I gotta kind of build up the courage here.
Yeah.
Bear with me, people. Let's find it.
Big gulp, beautiful, well done. 10 out of 10.
That wasn't bad, but I didn't really let it even hit my tongue. I just kind of
just
like big
went
gulp,
for it.
put it right down. You know, like
Yeah.
kind of like liquor. You don't want to let it sit in
Yeah.
your mouth. I don't know. Am I the only one who does that? You take a shot, like you don't.
You don't let it touch.
No, you don't let it touch. You just put it right
Burns if
back.
it touches.
Yeah. All right. So let's try this one more time.
Yeah, that's the face I made too. Yeah.
It wasn't too
All
bad.
scrunched up in the center, shake the
Yeah.
head.
It kind of. It wants to settle in your mouth.
Yeah.
But I kind of like that's how like when if you take a shot and maybe for whatever reason like you weren't quite ready for it and so it ends up touching. It
Yeah.
wanted to touch, but I was like, no, you're not going to touch. That's not allowed in this situation. I'm forcing you down. I am the ruler of my world. I make the
I'm in
choices.
control.
I make the decisions. And so I made the choice and it went down and it wasn't too bad. I did make a little face.
Yeah, that's.
I think it was like the particles
Yeah,
were
it's
kind of
kinda
like
gritty and
yeah,
just not the best
not the
texture,
greatest thing, but at
it
the
was
same
fine.
time,
yeah,
it wasn't horrible.
yeah.
What are other ways that you've consumed mushrooms before?
I've put it on pizza.
I've done that too.
Yeah,
It wasn't bad.
Hide it under the cheese, kind of thing.
I didn't even hide it. I just put it on top.
Oh yeah,
But then by the time you bite into it, it's all just mushed together, so it doesn't really matter.
yeah.
That was my experience.
Then,
so you made the pizza?
We bought one of those like pre-made pizzas that you just put in the oven. Not from like
big
a
extra
grocery
cheese on
store.
top.
Yeah. We got it from like Little George's or something, like the ready bake ones.
They have those
Uh,
in Nanaimo.
yeah, or Little Caesars, one of those. I don't know, whichever pizza place.
Crazy.
But yeah,
I didn't think they do like pre-made pizzas.
Yeah, they do.
Little George's.
Maybe not Little George's, Little Caesars.
That makes sense. Little Caesars makes sense.
Yeah, I think it was
Little
Little
George's
Caesars.
like kind of
Completely different,
restaurant
yeah,
sort of
yeah.
pizza place.
Yeah, no, it wasn't there.
Is that place still open?
I think so.
Really?
Not
That's
sure.
that's like exclusively where like we used to get pizza when I was a kid.
Really?
My mom loved Little George's, and in my mom's household, what my mom wants, my mom gets. So there was no debating
Yeah.
where we were gonna get pizza. If we got pizza, it was Little George's, and it was delicious. I always enjoyed it. I do not eat beef anymore, but we used to get the beef and feta, and that was delicious.
that
Yes,
sounds good.
that was always a good pizza. It was one pizza that I always found people didn't get.
No,
Like,
I've
if
never heard
you-
of people getting that pizza.
No,
before.
it's something. If you're like with a bunch of friends, nobody talks about getting a beef and feta pizza. It's
No.
delicious though.
Everybody's like, oh, pepperoni. Cheese.
Yeah, it's cheese, Hawaiian, those like go-tos. And I'm like,
Yeah.
y'all need to learn how to do your pizzas right. Like, take it the next step.
Barbecue
consider
chicken
it.
is becoming a thing, which I'm really
Is
happy
it?
about. People are starting to be like, oh, we should get barbecue chicken. Oh, yeah.
I've done it a
down.
couple times. Not a huge fan.
Really?
No.
No. The barbecue sauce or the chicken?
It's the barbecue sauce. I like chicken. I mean, I've always liked chicken. I just don't
Yeah.
really eat it, right? Just
Yeah.
for whatever reason. I'll maybe have it once in a while. I think I did have chicken like 3 days ago. I know. And it, like, whatever. I mean, I guess I can't call myself a vegetarian. If I call myself a vegetarian on the show, I'm sure we will get so many haters. People you can't claim yourself that, man. Like, can't do that. If you're eating animals, you're not a vegetarian. Yeah, well, I eat vegan dishes like probably 5 days a week, you know, like, and I will eat seafood rarely, like, you know, well, shouldn't even say rarely, a few times a week, you know, 3-4 times a week probably. And then I eat chicken maybe twice a year.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I had, well, maybe a couple more times than that, but like, yeah, I had, Josh made a dish the other night. It was like almost like a chicken Alfredo.
Okay.
Yeah, I had some delicious pasta with like celery and green onion, and I think there might have been some green peppers with some like Alfredo sauce, and there was like piece of chicken in there. And he offered me some, and I was super hungry, and I was like, I'm way more comfortable with it if it's like home prepared.
Yeah.
I don't order chicken from a restaurant or somewhere I'm not comfortable with. That's a big thing for me. My meat's got to be prepared somewhere trustworthy, which is weird because I eat a lot of sushi, and it's like raw.
That's what I was thinking.
Raw meat that
raw fish.
I really have no idea.
Scary.
Yeah,
but, you know, you are in the best city for sushi.
For that probably
beyond like in Japan.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I don't know. I got some twisted morals. I don't really care. I just eat what I eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do you.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever makes you happy.
Do what makes you happy, people.
Exactly.
Don't worry about all these
don't have to
social justice warriors out there telling you that you're wrong.
Kind of
you gotta do certain kind of things. If you're a pescatarian, you're probably a loser, because that's what I am. But, you know, I don't claim to be that. You know, just do what you do. You don't have to put a label on it. You don't have to be anything.
Just be you.
Yeah, you know, just eat.
I feel like this is how the rest of these podcasts are going to go. It's going to be a lot of, just be you, man. Just be awesome and cool. And, yeah.
I'm okay with that, though.
I'm totally
if we
cool
can
with that
preach
too.
that as much as possible and somebody will keep listening, and there's some people out there that will listen to this and kind of get that point through to their head and be comfortable with like who they are and gain a little bit of self-confidence and just like maybe be able to rewire their brain a little bit to the point where maybe they're not as critical as themselves, then I think we're doing our job.
I agree.
I mean, that's kind of, I think...
our self-proclaimed jobs. Yeah.
Well, yes. They're self-proclaimed, but they're still jobs.
That's true.
I think that's always been something in my life that I've known for myself, is that I wanted to make a difference in other people's lives, right? Getting into the music industry I was inspired by artists that had very conscious stories to tell and promoted positivity and good energy in people's lives, and I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to make a difference in people's lives, and that's what it came down to. And I just took music as a medium to do it. And now I've discovered that there's other means of doing that as well. I don't have the time now because of my schedule to go out and volunteer at all these different places and do things. And I'm not an activist. I don't go to rallies. As much as I appreciate the people that do those things, I just don't do it. I don't have it in me. I don't have the time. It's probably a personal thing, right? I proclaim this as my job, not the podcast itself, but
the inspiring people to
be better and like promote healthy lives and help people make those decisions and everything. So I do take that upon myself.
That kind of is my actual job.
It is. That is your career title. Some people claim their job as their title, right? And I don't know where I stand in that. When people ask me what I do, when somebody asks you, what do you do? Jimmy, what do you do?
Oh, I usually tell people that I'm a support worker for...
Exactly, whatever, right? Yeah, you claim your title, your career title.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm there yet. When people ask me what I do, my career, my job is, I work at a school as a support staff, an audio school. So, my actual title is a studio technician.
Yeah.
I don't tell people I'm a studio technician, let alone do I call myself an audio engineer, because I'm not producing records. I'm not on the small, right?
Yeah.
I don't claim to be those things. I don't know what my title is. I don't know if I've figured that out yet, but maybe one day I will. A little more exploration, a little more advancement into the career. Maybe I'll become comfortable calling myself something particular. We'll have to see how that goes. I don't know. I think that... How long have we been going for here?
I don't know how to tell.
About 21 minutes.
Oh, that's about what we thought would be done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm starting to feel it a little bit.
Yeah.
I think it's starting to
pull
creep
in.
its way in. I think that I'm ready to cut this off.
Yeah, I
think-
agree. We'll check in back here later at some point.
Yeah, I don't want to be cooped up when
no.
we make our way into the journey for the day.
Into our altered state of consciousness.
Yes. Jimmy,
Yes.
one more time for the people listening
Where
out
can they find
there.
us?
Yes.
I think I can tell you. You can send us an email with questions, comments, feedback, anything helpful, hateful. We'll take it all. We won't send it back if it's mean. That kind of thing.
We'll just tell you you're wrong.
Yes,
and that
exactly.
we're
And that
gonna
we're
shoot
nice,
positivity in
you're
your
not.
life like a thunderbolt coming from Zeus's hand.
So that's at rootsoflifepodcast@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Twitter. There's some great inspiring tweets happening right now at rootsoflifepod. And we also have a Patreon page where you can find us. It's patreon.com/rootsoflife. And we are also starting up a YouTube channel as well. We'll be posting maybe some recordings of sessions we do, or
We might
random
do some
video
videos.
things like
Yeah,
that.
I think for now it's safe to say that we're gonna
Projects.
put the audio up
yeah.
as another spot for people to find the show, because who knows when we'll get it up on iTunes or other podcast services. Those are in the works as well, so stay tuned for that. Jimmy, thank you for being here. Everybody, thank you for listening. We appreciate you. We hope you have a fantastic day wherever you're listening from. I hope you have a smile on. Jimmy, let's get the day started.
All right.
Hey, everybody. Taylor and Jimmy here after what was a fantastic day and a long night. So we thank you for tuning in once again. We're here on another beautiful sunny day in Vancouver, BC. It was
A couple days.
Yeah, it's been a good couple days. I've been really happy to spend these couple days with you and do some recording,
Yeah.
as everybody listening knows we've been doing. And also just to have some spiritual downtime to reconnect. If you're listening to this, you obviously know we drank some mushroom tea yesterday. We went on a little bit of an adventure, and it was a lot of fun. Jimmy, how was your experience?
It's really great. Had only about one moment where I was like, "Oh, the mushrooms are trying to teach me something today," kind of thing. We'd spoken about it while we were walking. That was when I was trying to have a conversation about mental, physical, and spiritual, and then I kind of had the question as to why we even would break up the spiritual and the mental side of things into two separate things. We had a discussion about it and decided that it was good to separate them so that you can understand and be aware that they don't completely encompass each other, kind of thing. But for me, I was thinking that it was your thought patterns are basically what you're going to be, are based on what you believe and that kind of thing. So to me, it felt like the mind was based upon the spiritual section. So I still have a bit more thinking to do on that, but it was pretty good. Good thoughts happening. Felt good vibes the whole day.
How was the visual experience for you?
Visual experience, there was brighter colors. I didn't have any of the usual visual patterns changing, things like that I would usually have, but the visuals were pretty good for just bright colors. Everything kind of just looked nice.
Yeah, and that's for people who aren't too familiar, specifically how psilocybin affects why you see patterns and why you see things that move is because of the hypersensitivity to the light. So what happens is the light starts hitting things, and because you become so sensitive to it, you start to see things that aren't necessarily there, or they might be moving, or whatever the case may be.
The reason you have that hypersensitivity to the light is due to the high density of serotonin nerves in your what is it called? Your ocular lobes, I guess. Your visual lobes, basically.
Okay.
So there's like a high density of them, and that's what psilocybin works on, is your serotonergic system. So those serotonin nerves get activated there, and you just see cool shit.
That's really sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. We ended up going down to what is Enchanted. And did we mention it yesterday?
I think we did, that we were going to go to Enchanted with all the lights.
Yeah. So we went down. So what ended up happening is we did the mushrooms quite early in the day. We did them about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock.
Around there, yeah.
Yeah. And then we ended up going on a bunch of adventures and walking around and almost falling in the streets because it's very icy outside the last few days. And it was a lot of fun. By the time 8 o'clock rolled around and we made our way down to the event, we were quite tired.
Yeah.
Yeah. And famished.
Yeah. For those who haven't done a mushroom trip, the back end of a mushroom trip, you get really tired. Throughout the mushroom trip, you yawn a lot, so that kind of feels like it catches up to you. You get tired, you kind of just want to be cozy and comfortable somewhere. So going back out into the cold and walking through the lights was not a very exciting idea.
No, it sounded a lot better in theory.
Yeah.
I think you had mentioned to me about doing the mushrooms before we go, like kind of on the, just like an hour or two beforehand.
Yeah.
And we kind of busted that open by sporadically doing mushrooms at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
There happened to be some sort of challenge, I believe. Somebody's like, let's do it. And,
the ego might have taken over a little bit there.
Ego took over a bit.
And maybe that wasn't the best way to enter that journey, but it was all in fun and games and in brotherly love, so I don't think it's too much of an issue. Yeah. I did notice that at when we began our adventure, I was quite uncomfortable. And I think that had to do with a little bit of the preparation that we put into the experience. The tea was a good one, so we did our little ceremony and we kind of prepared ourselves that way. I think I did not prepare myself the night before. Yeah. I broke a bunch of habits that are unlike me and things that I've been working away from in the last month or so. And I just totally broke out of my own habits and what I'm trying to achieve. And so I kind of broke myself down and then tried to go find myself a little bit, per se, in this with psilocybin. And it was hard. And the mushrooms were like breaking me down. They were like, you didn't do this right. And I was like, okay, I got to figure out how I can be at peace with them and be at peace with myself and kind of settle in for this and kind of just allow them to teach me what they wanted to teach me. And just for me to have an overall good day. And I think I got there eventually. I think a lot of it was through conversation with you, and just I think I expressed to you a couple times that I was feeling that way particularly, and just through that conversation it kind of got better and I was able to settle into my joints and settle into my muscles and loosen up, and I was able to get into a space in my head where I was comfortable and willing and open to learning whatever it was that I had to learn yesterday.
I felt that the fact that we had a couple small errands to run with some audio equipment was also part of the difficulty for you settling in. The fact that we had to go out and take those things to different places and drop them off and pick something up, come back.
Yeah, so we had a few things to do, and on top of that, I didn't exactly know how cleared out my schedule was in terms of work and my other responsibilities. And so I kind of had this whole thing in the back of my head about what if this happens? If my boss calls, if this happens, if I got to go here, if I got to do that, if I got to be up at 6 in the morning, I'm going to be tired, and all these things. And I think it's all very important to put yourself in that mind state and kind of give yourself that time to explore that. Usually, and that's just the way my schedule is now. Like, it's never fully cleared. There's always the possibility of that. No, like, I got to go to work now, which kind of sucks. I used to do just that when I would do experiments with LSD, and I would take that time out of that day to reset. And usually, you know, I want to give myself the following day as well to kind of let myself slide back into my routine. And I'm fortunate enough that I was able to have today to be able to reset and to do those things and get back into my routine, but I didn't know if it was going to happen. And so I think the lesson there is just that I have to learn to let go, and I have to not worry about it, right? Which is something that I've been teaching myself to do over time through meditation and different exercises, through breathing exercises, is to just, you gotta learn to let go of that tension and let go of that stress, because it's not viable, and it's not something that is necessary in your life. You're really creating these own situations, and you're letting your brain take you to a place that you don't need to necessarily go.
Yeah, and you're living more in the future, worrying about things that could happen and things like that.
Exactly. So to be
if you
present
live in the
is
present,
big.
you can just deal with it when it comes. To, like, if you can prepare yourself for knowing, like, oh, if this happens, I can deal with it, like that sort of thing. But sitting there worrying constantly about it, that's where things start to bog you down, and you don't feel so great about yourself. So.
Yeah. So I think that's a big lesson for me that I took yesterday was, you know, just to be present. And obviously that's one that you hear quite often. I mean, it sounds very basic, and, you know, the thing that almost anybody will say is like, just be present, you know, just learn to breathe, take deep breaths. And but sometimes you need a reminder.
Yeah.
Sometimes those things can get easily forgotten. It's been a long couple days for me. I've done a lot of things, and kind of, and I lost myself within those couple days. But through yesterday, I learned some lessons as well, and I'm gonna take the time to get back into my life and look forward. I got a big work stint coming up, starting on tomorrow. I got I got 11 days of work, all 12 plus hour days. So it's going to be a good little haul. I'm looking forward to it. Some good experiences there. I get to work with some cool people, so that'll be fun.
Sounds like it'll be fun.
Yeah, you got a long drive ahead of you today.
I do. I had to drive about 4 hours to get home. Got to fix my car a little bit before I do that too. Just the tires aren't quite up to snuff at the moment.
Oh yeah, we talked about that, didn't we?
Yeah, we talked about that earlier. Yeah,
right.
Haven't done that yet, but I'll do that right before I leave. And have to go talk to my cousin as well. She's in town. I think she's working, but go visit, pop in, say hi,
figure it out,
see what movie they're working on. She is a makeup artist and hair artist for the movies. So
that's cool. I've met Janelle, right?
Janella.
Yeah, Janella.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, shout outs out to Janella.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll see her around one day. I've worked on a couple movie sets.
Yeah?
Not a ton, but sometimes.
Oh, yeah, you were...
some film companies will rent out the studio to come and do some shoots and stuff like that for location shooting. So
yeah,
I think the makeup artists are usually more in like a trailer.
Yeah, they're in a trailer outside.
Usually.
Kind of thing. Yeah.
I think there's the odd time when they're doing like, if they have to shoot a particular scene, a lot of times, I think they might come to the location.
Do touch-ups and stuff.
Yeah, do touch-ups throughout scenes and stuff like that. So, yeah, I've seen a couple of the makeup artists. They're usually really cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's always a bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think we're going to take off. We thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you for tuning in through our journey. This is the Roots of Life podcast. Jimmy, where might they find us if they want to reach out to us?
First off, I just want to apologize for not checking in like we had promised during our trip, but we definitely got distracted.
Yeah, whatever. It was a good day.
It was a good day. It was fun.
Yeah.
But you can find us at rootsoflifepodcast@gmail.com. You can send us questions, comments, all your love. We'll take it all. You can also find us on Patreon at patreon.com/rootsoflife. We also have a Twitter handle. It's at rootsoflifepod. And we are also starting a YouTube where we will be putting up all of our audio besides our bonus podcasts, as well as some possible videos in the future.
Jimmy,
Yes.
before we go, we've said thank you to everyone else. I said thank you to myself for the experience that I let myself go through. I want to say thank you to you.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking the time out of your week to come see me. Thank you for spending time with me. It's always appreciated.
Thank you for letting me stay here and not making me sleep in my car in the cold. That was great. I mean, that would have been that was a possibility for you. You could have said, "Hey, get out of my house," and I would have been all right. But
I think you would have drove home at that point.
I probably would have. Yes.
On that note, enjoy your drive home today, Jimmy. Thank you again for being here. I look forward to next week's episode and recording that with you and continuing this journey on the Roots of Life podcast.